Heck yeah. All right. I think we're cooking. We're live. We're doing the live thing. YouTube, check. Twitch, check. Heck yeah, that's what's up. Alrighty. Now, where was I? Oh, you know what I want to do is I want to make it to where I don't have to walk up to this thing. Let's see. I need to change the camera for uh Unreal. Because what I want is I don't want. Okay, this is my original idea. I liked, walking, to the table and then hit and play, and then being able to do the thing. But at least like while I'm making the game and while I'm testing it, this is like every single time I want to test something, having to do that, it's just like an extra couple seconds that I don't want. I don't want to use. So I want to use this camera by default. Uh, which camera is that? It's the game table. Okay, so I want the game table to be my main camera. Event, begin play. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Is event, begin play, blend time 0 seconds. Brother, we're just gonna get in there. This is probably not the proper way to do it. Why is my text so big? There we go. This is probably not the right way to do it, but this is the way that I'm going to do it. It'll probably have issues later, but now when I hit play, boom, we're right here. Look at that. Easy. All right, that's one win for the day, and we're only 3 minutes in, so I like that. I like that. For the next win, where was I? Oh, scoring. So we can roll our dice, and I'm gonna. Uh-oh. Let's see. There's the problem. If playing, roll. So am I not setting this to play? At begin play. Uh. Oh, son of a gun. Okay. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll make it work later on. I don't care. We're just gonna do it that way. We're just gonna do it that way. Dang. All right. Take back that win I had. No more wins. Oof. But now Ew. Let's go back to here. Let's change this back to like 1.25. Save that. Compile that. Cool. So we play. We do this thing. Okay. All right. A couple things. Oh boy. I want to have. Okay, wait, so we roll, we do all that stuff. So you have score dice. Okay, so on here. So basically I have to do all of this. Wait, what? So if we're playing, trace this object. If this is true, when I cast DP dice master. Add to roll selection. Okay. Dice to throw. Blah 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 blah. This is where I need to add the next piece. So what I need to do is add a way to select dice to score. So we're gonna roll, blah 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 blah. So what I need to do is all this is good up until throw index plus plus. Uh, dice on table. How about that? We're gonna make a dice on table. This is gonna be a S underscore dice, array. Actually, no. Where would I put this at? So I need to be able to, at some point, be able to select the dice that I want to score. I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to put that there. So that's all done. And then we're going to delete that and that and that. Okay. So we need to add an interface for this. We're going to add one. We're going to call this select keepers. Okay. Select keepers. Where are we at? We're going to say select keepers. Put that up here. Let's see. When I click on one, we're going to say so wait, when we roll, so I think by default, what we should do is we should have this on bench is true. And then what we'll do is when we roll, we'll set it to false. When we make a new one, actually, game table. we're gonna set on, nope, set nope, not what I want. Set array element. Nope. Set set members in SDI. No. Set members in SDI. To make SDI what? Let's say bench. Nope. Muted. I shouldn't be muted. Am I muted? Uh, I shouldn't be muted. Oh, okay. Okay, good. I thought I was going crazy. Thought I was crazy. Let's see. I should be able to. Aha. There it is. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So we're going to set that. We're going to go here to there. then to there. So now we're ensured that when we spawn the dice, that's going to be on the bench. Okay, and now we're going to go to here. We're going to check here first to see if, let's see, if, oh my goodness, on bench? No. Hold on. So doing the line trace, we're checking to see this. We get the hit actor. As BP Dice Master on bench. There we go. This is where that should go, I think. We're going to go up here. So if it's on the bench, we're going to do this. If it's not on the bench, we're going to check to see on table. Question mark on table. All right. And then if it is on table, oof, this is getting messy. This is why I don't like blueprints, but I also don't want to code. I'll clean it up later. Okay, so if it's on the bench, we're going to roll or add it to the roll selection. If it's not on the bench, then we need to get current game board. What did I call this? Select keepers. Okay. So now let's just make sure that this still works. I don't want to break a bunch of things and then have to fix them later. So I'm going to test each thing one at a time. All right, so that still works. Maybe they're coming out a bit hot, but that's better than not at all. Okay, okay. That works. Oh, I gotta test one more thing. Whoops. Oh, forgot to select that guy. Okay. So now something is not working, and that's why I wanted to test it. All right. So let's see. When we roll, where am I? It's on the Dice Master. On hover. Yeah, if it's not selected. Table hover. Where's table hover? Let's see. Find references. Okay. If it's on bench, we're going to do bench hover. If it's on table, we do table hover. Do I not set it to on table after it rolls? Is that the problem here? It's on here. We'll take this, we do this. Aha. Aha. This is what I need. All right, this is what we're doing. So we're going to go here. We're going to set members in S dice. We're going to do, but make sure that on bench and what the on table. Is that not in the struct? It is not. It is not. On table. Save that. Let's actually, yeah, we'll get both those. On bench is going to be off. On table is going to be on. This is just getting this location. Don't need that really. This needs to go here. And then this is the struct that we're going to use for this. There's that. And that's going to go to spawn the actor, blah, blah, blah. I think that works, but it might not. So what's the goal of the game? Are you familiar with the game Farkle? You are not. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I got to do a little bit of debugging. Farkle is why is that false? Okay. Not what I wanted. Farkle is if you Google it, it's a dice game. All right. It's in fact you have I think 5 or 6 dice. I think it's 6. And you roll the dice. And I'm gonna stop my game. You roll the dice, and the goal is to get points, right? And I think in the normal Farkle rules, you're supposed to get like 10,000 points. And so how do you get points? Well, that's a great question. Your points are determined by what you roll and what you choose to keep and what you choose to roll again. So like if this is my die, if I roll, actually, it'd be much easier just to show you over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's say I roll the dice and I get something that looks like this. Let's see, 5, 6. Okay, let's say I roll all my 6 dice and this is what I get. How this would score is for every 1 That's 100 points, so it'd be 100. Whoops, too close. It'd be 100, 200, and then fives count as 50, so this would be 250. And then I would say, okay, I'm gonna either keep the 250 and then roll these 3 dice again and try to get more points. And let's say I roll these 3 dice again and I get, just for the sake of ease, I roll 3 sixes the next time. Well, now I have three of a kind is that number times 100. So this would be 600. And so now I have 600 plus 250. So I'd have 850 points. And then if I wanted to, I could roll all 6 dice again. And if I roll all 6 dice again, and let's say this time I get something like this, 3 ones is not 100 because 1 is 100. 3 ones is 1,000. So now I'd have, 1850, and then just different combinations. So this is the scoring system. And the goal is to get points. Now, the other game I'm thinking of is Balatro. Have you ever heard of Balatro or played Balatro? Because that's kind of, you've not played it? Okay, yeah. So Balatro is a roguelike game that involves poker hands. So, let's say, I don't remember exactly what it is, but let's say you have, I'm also not good at poker. Let's say you have a pair of jacks, and a pair is worth, just for the sake of numbers, and I don't know what the Balatro scores are like. We're gonna say one pair of cards is a 2 times multiplier, and let's say a jack is worth 10 points. So if I have a pair of jacks, I have 20 points times the pair multiplier, which I think I forgot what I said, but let's say 2. So now I have 40 points. Okay. Let's say a full house is worth 500 points. Let's say it's like worth a 10 times multiplier. And then a full house would be, I think that's where you have like a 3 of a kind and a 2 of a kind, I think. So let's say you have like 3 jacks and 2 queens. That might be, 30 points for the jacks, maybe, I don't know, 50 points for the queens. And then you multiply that by whatever the full house multiplier is. And you get, you can get absurd amounts of points in Balatro, and that's all also multiplied by what they call joker cards. So if you have a joker that says all of your diamonds cards are worth 3 times as much, then after you score the hand and the cards, then you also go through and you do your jokers. So now all your diamonds get multiplied by 3. There's like a joker card that says, the number of cards left in your deck, determine how many multipliers you get. There's cards that say however many jokers you have determines what multipliers you get. And so what I'm gonna do is basically make Farkle, which it's still a funny name, with like a little bit of a twist, because I don't know the actual rules, but I'm also just going off of how my grandma played. So when I used to go to her house when I was a kid, we played Farkle and we would play by her rules. So let's say we get a straight of 5 dice. So I roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that's worth 1,500 points. But then this is where the cool part comes in. This is where it's going to be kind of fun. Is let's say I have these special dice. Screw that. I'm just gonna bring that out here. I'm gonna have these special dice out here. And I don't know how many you're going to be able to have at once, or what the limitations are going to be on these, but there's going to be, I want to have a ton. I want to have a bunch of special dice. This one in particular, I modeled and based it off of Stranger Things. And I'm going to try not to get sued, and I'm going to try to call it something like upside down dice. So let's say I rolled what's on the other side of a 1? Okay. Let's say I roll 3 6s, all right, and I roll some random stuff. I still have to figure out how I'm going to make this work, but somehow we rolled the 3 6s, and then the 3 and the 3 and the 2. The 3 and the 3 and the 2 don't do anything right now, but 3 6s would be 600 points. Let's say I roll this, which the actual dice won't have numbers. It'll probably have like, I don't know, heads or tails or something. Still trying to figure out how that's going to work. I haven't gotten there yet. Still doing this part. But the upside down die is going to take all of your dice and it's going to levitate them, and it's going to flip them over. And if you know that the other side of the 6 is a 1, you can kind of use it to just get more points. And so now, instead of having 600 points, you have 1,000 points and then 250s. So if you wanted to, you can do 1,000 points, and 250s would be 100. So you can have 1,100 points instead of 600. I also want to have a dice. Actually, this one works sort of. This one is a multiplier dice that I'll have, and if you look, the numbers change on each face. I probably won't have it go up to 100 or 99 like I do here. But when, let's say you roll this hand right here, we'll get rid of the upside down dice. Let's say we rolled 1,100, and then you decide you want to roll your multiplier dice, and it lands on 32, which is kind of broken right now, but that's also pretty high. Then you would have 1,100 times 32, and now you'd have a lot of points. What is that? 34 or something, 100 points. I'm not going to do the math right now, but yeah. So I'm going to come up with a bunch of those dice. I did not know that they did that. I might steal that. I'm going to steal that. I also want a dice that makes your dice explode into smaller dice, and then you can score a bunch more. Because how it should work is when you roll your first roll, you roll all 6 dice. Oh man, I almost got a full house. So this would be 200 points if I wanted to. And so what I'm working on now is being able to select the dice that you want to keep. So I would keep these, and then I would re-roll these 3, and then I would keep the ones I want out of there, and then re-roll what's left. You roll until you don't score. So if I decide to roll these 3 dice and I get nothing, I get like a 3 and a 4 and a 5. That's a bust. I don't get anything for that. That would reset your score to 0. So it's a mixture of like trying your luck and also multiplying your points. That's kind of the gist of it. And just like Balatro, as you keep playing Balatro, the score that you're supposed to get just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And it's like infinitely scaling, I guess. Not infinitely. I think you can beat it at some point. I have beaten the first round once. I think you go up to like 20 or 30 rounds or something. And then in between your rounds, in between, hitting that score, it's like maybe your first time, like your goal is to get, maybe it's 1,000 points, and that could be very easy if you just roll 3 1s, or if you rolled, 3 5s and 3 5s. use variable for it to remember the old numbers, delete the ones that you saved, and reroll the ones you want to roll. So yeah, what I'm probably gonna do, and what I started on over where to go. Well, okay, where am I at? I kind of broke it, so I'm trying to fix what I broke, and then I'm gonna add it. But um, you're gonna select the ones you want to keep. It'll add them to an array. Uh, those will not get re-rolled. So you're just going to keep those in the score array. So whatever that score is going to stay there. And then you'll re-roll the next ones. And, um, you know, you'll select the ones that you want to score. And then it'll go from there. It'll all be stored in an array. I already have the score array, and it was working, but it was just scoring all 6 die when you roll it. So now my goal is to make it to where I select the ones that I want to keep, and then it actually just uses those. Which I'm still trying to figure out how I broke something. So I had it working earlier where after I roll a die, when I hover over it, it would float and let me know that I was hovering over it. But it's not doing that anymore. But it's saying that on table is not true. So I think I don't do that here. I don't do that there. I think I need to do it after I spawn it because I'm stupid. Yeah, that's how that works. I have to spawn the thing first, and then I have to set on table. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Set on table to true. Let's move all this. Set on table to true. And then we're going to set Jesus. On bench. Because I think on bench is true by default. So I'm going to set that to false. I'm going to set on table to true. Now it should theoretically hover in the air when I hover over it when it's on the table. Here we go. I'm just going to roll ones for speed's sake. And it's not doing it. It's also not even selecting it. That's so cool. Let me get up my blueprint debugger. We're looking for this thing. What is this thing? Which one is this thing? Let me eject. We're D6 basic 6. On table is true. Okay, so something else is happening. Something like where's my table hover? If it's not selected and not hovered, not that we're going to do that. Set it to hovered. Yeah. Well, so I need to check out this. Problem is, I have too many things in too many places, and it's really confusing. Actor being looked at, interact. No. So on cursor over, on end cursor over, no. Cursor over. Table hover, references. Okay. So on begin cursor over. If it's on bench, we're going to do that. If it's on table, we're going to do that. Yeah, we'll do the print string thing. We're going to print here on table. Oh, move that. Oh, stop it. So it is not getting that. What the heck? Okay, well that's not good. What's confusing me is if I were to do a print string here, it should work. It would say on bench hover. We'll do that. See, it's saying, I don't know if you can really see that on the stream, but it is printing up in the top left on bench hover. So that's working. So then if that's the case, then why? If on bench is true, no, if it's false, we're going to check to see if on table is true. But down here, or dice tower, my roll event, it's taking this actor, it's setting on table to true. Which confuses me because if I do this, I roll, and if I get my blueprint debugger out and I find this, and here on table is set to true. But if I hover over this guy, nothing happens. Okay, so somehow that's not working. I mean, yeah, this works. But this doesn't work. I'm going to try this. Find references by name. No. I'm wondering. Where, oh, where? Because this was working when I first started streaming before I changed a couple things. But then I changed a couple things and I can't remember what I changed, and now it's not working. Um, okay. How about this? Let me make sure that this is even firing. Uh, if I were like I switched this one with that one, I don't think anything would happen because anything would change because it would just well, actually if I were to do it just like this and I switched this one there would be no false connected to this, but if I added the false to here, this one would probably still run because it wouldn't be on the table. Um it would still just bypass it. But for some reason, I don't think that this is ever getting triggered. That's my theory, which is what I'm about to test right now. I think that that is just not like, I don't think that the hover is triggering at all for some reason. So I'm going to test that out. And there it is. There's the answer. That's not even triggering at all. And now that I think about it, I wonder if it's this thing. Oh, wait. No, there's nothing there to block it. Okay. Oh, you know what? What? There's okay, I found the problem. You see this sphere? This is the collision for hovering. So this is what catches the cursor hovering over the die. This guy, he'd be missing it. It'd be gone. So okay, I gotta do that again, but this time uh I need to eject. Whoops. Nope, nope, nope. Eject. Turn my collision thing on before I do it. And then there we go. They should. See, look, there's a sphere. There's a sphere. It's here. Why? But if I go. What? Okay. Whoops. Um. So something is happening here. We're getting our selection. We're getting that actor for each thing that we have selected. We're doing this. We're making sure that it's selected. And if it's true, we're going to set the selection to false. And then we're going to go through here. We're going to get the ID of the selected one so we can roll it. We're doing all this. We're going to set on bench to false. We're going to set on table to true. We're going to destroy the original actor. And now we have this new array. So then we go over here where we take this array and we have to make our own sort of for loop because we can't put a delay in a regular for loop, and I shouldn't really be using delays anyways, but we do. So whoops. When we roll it, Um, we do the roll animation, which is here. We make one of these. We set it to on table. We set the bench to false. We get the die. We simulate physics. We set collision to no collision. Okay, well, that might be part of the answer. Do we ever set it back? We do this. We have that delay. Clear that. Then we simulate physics so it starts falling down. And then after 0.2 seconds, we teleport it to the bottom of the thing and we spit it out. And it does this, it does that, it does this, it does that, it does this, it does that, it does this. Aha. 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 We are not resetting the collision. Okay. So what we should do is once this is all done, okay. Why destroy instead of the coordination changing? Uh I knew the answer to that a couple days ago. I don't remember anymore, but I could not get that to work for some reason. So yeah, I just made a new one from a struct. Uh, so we have a score array. I think what I need to do is make a table dice array. These are going to be BP underscore dice master object reference array. Add table dice. Oh, whoops. Add. I'm going to promote this to a variable. I can't keep doing this. This is messy. We're going to call this variable rolling die. Uh, I don't remember. I don't think that was the problem. So when I tried to teleport it over there, That well, okay, there was that was part of it, I think, but there was something else was going on because you do have to move all the components because the what's it called? The actual hover component, actually the part that I'm trying to fix right now. uh if you look at the actual thing here, it's not parented to the die. So there's the die, and then there's a collision. So they're separate, and something was goofy when I put them when I was trying to just move them. So I just spawned a new one there. Oh, actually, yes. Okay. This is what happened. Okay. Now I remember. I can see clearly now. So what would happen when I would do that is I would do this and I would like it would roll, but if I hovered back down where that was, it would respawn it here and I had infinite dice. And that was something that I could probably fix without doing it the way that I did it, but the cool thing, whoops, about development is there's like 100 ways to skin a cat. I would never skin a cat, but that's what they say. They say there's like 100 ways to skin a cat, and there's 100 ways to make your dice not respawn when you hover over the thing. It's true. Very true. Never say never. What, brother? What did I do here? What did I do here? This is crazy messy. Okay. After all that, we go here. We're gonna paste that one more time. Actually, no. We're gonna bring this up like this. We're gonna add the rolling die to there. I think that works, right? So now we have all these die in our table dice array. And then oh, when this is all done, so when the throw index is less than the length, yes, when it's not here, we're going to get our table dice, and we're going to for each. Hold on. I'm trying to make this as clean as possible, so I'm just gonna make a custom event. I've been trying to get good at doing this. Um, Instead of just having just nodes upon nodes upon nodes, I'm gonna try to do as many custom events as possible. And honestly, I could probably do a function too. And you know what? Let's make it even cleaner. Let's do a function. Um, I'm gonna have a function called what do I call this? Uh, make uh uh bring back bring back table reset table die collision. A macro. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what that means. Um, for each of these bad boys, we're gonna go through. We're gonna find the element. We're gonna get the die. I'm gonna get die. And we're gonna get world location. And then we're going to get party hover collision. And we're going to set world location to this location. And then we're going to set collision enabled to query only. And now, please work. Oh, and then we got to call this function. That would also help out, right? So when this is all done, we're going to reset table die collision. Macro event function. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not familiar with macros. I guess that's the reason why I did function. A function looks like it does the same thing, I guess. And that's what I've been doing. I have functions for, you know, different things, scoring different things. Just because familiarity, I guess. I like functions. I've never used a macro. Custom events are good as well, but they still clutter the event graph, which is my problem. So I'm trying to clean that up. So instead of having another custom event, uh, I just have a function instead of having to have another custom event somewhere over here when I could just put it in its own thing. Yeah. No, I can't call on them. Oh, yeah. Uh, I do like to be able to change the variable inside. So I guess I do function. I want to see if this works. Hopefully that works. I've reset the collision. It should work. And it's working. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, oh. Hello? There we go. It's a little bit funny. It's a little funny. Okay. If I'm being real, I don't mind a little bit of jank. Just a little bit, you know? Like that's weird because you're hovered over two different ones. So the thing is, if you're hovering over one, this is another thing I got to fix. This is too much jank. Um, the thing is, let me go back to collision, and then I have to eject here, and then I have to do Alt C a couple times. Okay, and then I have to go back to here. So the issue is if I'm hovering over this sphere and then I hover over this sphere. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Somehow some of them stay floating, and I'm not quite sure why that is. They reset if you hover over it again. Like these two are just overlapped on top of each other. I'm confused. Uh, Game Jam for beginners. Oh, you're going like on vacation then? Dang. Game Jam would be fun. I just don't know if I have the time to complete something in a short amount of time. Honestly, I started this project a year ago and I worked on it for like a week and I just started again last week. So I'm and I spend a lot of time working on the wrong things. I spent way too much time here. I'll show you what this looks like. I spent way too much time doing uh, where to go? Materials. I spent a lot of time working on this. Uh, and then I would take the see horizontal light, adding like this sort of cell shaded thing around it. Which it looks cool. I still might use it, but it's kind of distracting for now, so I'm gonna delete it. Yeah. Are you working on anything currently? Any current projects? Here, you answer that question. I'll be back. I gotta let my dog out. All right. Shooter following this tutorial. Strictly for the learning. With the engine. Yeah. It's tough. So man, yeah. You've probably heard it before, but tutorials definitely get you stuck. They got me stuck for a long time. Uh and so I think learning the engine is great. That's what tutorials are good for. Once you kind of get a hang of the engine though, um instead of looking up tutorials for like making a shooter, start making the shooter with what you know. And then when you're like, okay, how do I make my character move? And then you go in like, okay, how to make a character move in Unreal, figure that out. And then, okay, I have that. Now, how do I make a gun shoot bullets? And, you know, how to make a gun shoot bullets in Unreal. And you look up, you look up things as you need them instead of just following like one tutorial that shows you how to make a whole thing. That's helped me tremendously. That's the hard part. All right, I'm getting distracted, but you know what? I'll show you this. This dice project is my small game project because my other game was just too much for me. Um, and it's sad because I got so far. I worked so hard on this project, but and then I just kind of realized, hey, I can't do this. This is not in the scope of things that I can do right now. And so I kind of just quit making it. And I started the dice game. That seems way more doable. I've already gotten pretty far in the dice game. I would say I'm like 20% of the way done. Like once I figure out this last part of selecting the dice to score and then scoring it, then I can just start adding the cool fancy dice. And once I start adding the cool fancy dice, it's going to be, way more fun to play. I could probably get a demo out in a few months. Like that is, minimum viable product done. With this game that I worked on, the problem was I've, making all the assets. I made what you're about to see in this game. I've made literally everything, everything in this game. And you can kind of see the things that I started working on in the beginning and I was super motivated. And then as time went on, and I'm like, ugh, I got to make another thing, and then it would just get worse. But one thing, yeah, Blender tutorials. Yeah, that's tough. Animation, it's really hard. And there was this one guy that I found that made a shooting, like he showed you how to make gun animations in Blender. And if I can find it, maybe I'll share it next time. But there's like one dude on YouTube that did that. It's very hard to find that because you watch a YouTube tutorial on how to make a shooter in Unreal Engine, they're gonna have you download assets that already have animations. That is probably the hardest part for making like a shooter is going to be, yeah, the animations and stuff. But also just modeling everything. Like even if it's not hard, like the stuff in this game it's not complicated. It's something that, yeah, you would think would be on the simpler side of things. All right, where are we at? What's happening? Oh, we're preparing shaders. Okay, well, I thought that's what Unreal Engine just spent the last 3 minutes doing. I guess it was not true. Oh yeah, I can see that too. It's all the details. Yeah, so the idea behind this game is like a flipper simulator. So like you go to like a thrift store and you find something that you can sell for a profit. Here we go. Uh and really the downfall of this game was I wanted to have a bunch of items that you could find in the game. And I think I made like 12 items and I got burned out. I was like, all right, I need to stop. Yeah, caught like yeah, hiding the seams. I've done a decent amount of 3D printing, and hiding seams in that is also a pain in the butt. It's like a bunch, and there's also the same thing as like earlier. There's like 10 ways to skin a cat. There's 10 ways to hide a seam. But yeah, so in this, oh, loading textures. I could go to the thrift store, and there's a loading screen. And then we're at the thrift store. I forgot that's so stupid. Uh, there's a very rare chance that you would have a portal that spawns and it would take you to like a different world. And so you can get rare items in this other world, which I never built. So I'm just gonna leave, go back. Uh, you could, look at stuff, say, oh wow, look, I can I can get this washing machine. You know, it's priced at 132.85, super random. It's got a value of 160, but a low demand. So, you know, I could just like not buy that. I look at this one. It's not much better of a deal. And then over here on the shelves, we have like more items and like stuff like this. Like this is one of the first items I made, if not the first item I made. It's like a CD player, like a Walkman CD player. And I was like, wow, this is fun. This is cool. Let's see. Like, I want to buy that. I'm gonna give myself some money. Um, this is like a Nintendo Switch type thing, and like I textured everything myself. I was really proud of some of the stuff, but then I was like, man, if I'm gonna make hundreds of items, like I'm never gonna get this done. So I needed to scale down to something more simple. Oof, I don't have the money for that. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, and what really gets it is like skeleton. Like if you start getting skeletons and stuff and like rigging, like that's complicated. So yeah, getting. Sorry, I'm just giving myself a bunch of money. I'm just gonna buy a couple things here. There's also like a chance. So if you look at this thing here, this is a nice clean one. There's also a chance to get a dirty one, and so I never added it, but I was gonna add a thing to where you could like buy a dirty one for cheaper, then clean it, and if you clean it, you can make more money. And so like the dirt is semi procedurally generated, so it's like I didn't have to make a whole new dirty version of everything. I can just have it overlay on top. Wow. Uh, so say I buy all this stuff, and then I can go back home. And then when I go home, all that stuff that I bought shows up on my shelf. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. And then you could like expand and get more shelves and stuff. There's a computer system that you would log in. You would sell this item. You can name a price, and it kind of tells you what the average price is. I'm going to sell it for 600. You list the item, and then it's selling in the background, and it just sold. Depending on some of the stats that you put in here, you might get faster or longer selling times. I'm just going to sell this one for 150. It's probably a little bit too high. The mirrorless camera, we're going to sell that one for, let's sell it for $2,000. It'll sell really quick. Still make 400 bucks. Fireball hit something and left burn marks, and the decal just left them completely black. Yeah, not sure. I haven't used decals yet. So I'm not 100% on that. Once things have sold, then you go over here to the packing station, and then you have to pack the items. And then you take this. You have to individually pack each item. Like that animation. That animation took me so long. Did you see that? And it's so simple, but my God, it's not that simple. Just to make a box close. Like, and then, okay, here's the thing. It works in Blender, and then you put it on an Unreal Engine, and it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work the same. All right, and then you have to bring them over here, and you gotta ship them out. You gotta toss them in the FedEx pickup thing. It's kind of janky, but it works. Yeah, I didn't want to animate it in Unreal Engine. I don't know. I don't like animating in Unreal Engine. I've never been able to get that to work. But anyways, yeah, this game just got too much too much scope too quick, too much scope creep. So, doing something simpler with the dice thing. And in this game, I will do some animations in Unreal Engine, like it won't be like crazy. It's just going to be dice flying around or whatever. So, anyways, where was I on this guy? Oh, yes. So, the M3 to move and look. Yeah, there's ways I think you can change it, but you get used to it after a while. Yeah, it's not natural, but it becomes easier. So now I got to figure out, okay, how do I select these items? So they're all in table die. Let's go to first person blueprint. Let's do left mouse button if playing, true. We're going to get that. We're going to trace sphere. We're going to say if it's on. Going to make another uh keepers. This is going to be BP underscore dice master array. I'm just moving things through different arrays now at this point. Uh, we're going to get hit actor. Wait, hold on. No. Wait. How do I do this? Oh, I don't think that's quite what I wanted. Uh, I need that to be over here in the player blueprint because that's where I keep my inventory of dice. And we're going to do this. We're going to go back to BP underscore dice master. And we're going to do array, compile. Here we go. Add. Yeah. We're gonna add this thing. Oh, what is this? Oh, weird. Oh man, yeah, Blender's a, a lot easier to use than some of the other ones I've tried. And honestly, Unreal Engine, people say it's like, really difficult to use, and I can see where they're coming from. But as somebody who has tried Godot and I've tried Unity and I've learned C sharp and I've learned Python or whatever, it's Godot is kind of emulating. It's just like being able to visually see it for me is always going to be better. That's just the kind of person I am. This is coding. It's a really sloppy way of coding. I don't like the way that this looks per se, but it's way easier for me to say, "Oh yeah, this goes here." Because in like a coding document, like you can have something here that gets used way down here, and then you have to like find that. And I guess it's sort of the same this way, but I don't know. It seems easier to me. Plug and play. Uh, Now I need to do. I need another button for like scoring. Let's just say key. Just say R. So now over here, we don't really need this. We need player. We need keepers. We need to plug that in there and that in there. Okay. This is going to be tricky, but I think I got it to sort of work. So we're going to go to the game. I need to look at uh first person player. Where do I hold on? Where do I get the score? Is it in here? Ah. So it's in the game table. Game table. I have a score integer. Here it is. It's 0. All right. Now, what? Uh-oh. Are you kidding me? Why is that not working? Just gonna check to see if. Okay. Maybe I don't need that. Let's do this. And that. Player BBC Dice Inventory. Why is this breaking? Why would you do this? I was so close. Where are they? All right, let's read. Oh, goodness. Okay. Why is this possibly not working? Get all actors of class BP party spawn, which is this guy right here. It's there, right? And then it's going to get all of those. It's going to make it into an array. It's going to go through there. It's going to get the location. It's going to spawn an actor of class, which should be Dice Master class. Okay. It's going to set that item to the index of this. It's going to set the party item ID or party ID. It's not spawning the actor though. And why is that? So we're going to hit F9. F9 is going to do a breakpoint. So when I go to hit play and I interact, it's going to bring this up and I can kind of see what's going on. So this is getting no debug data. No debug data. So Dice BP is an unknown class. Okay, but why? I'm getting dice inventory from the player BPC inventory. So if I go to my BPC player inventory, I go to dice inventory, I have this. No way! How did that happen, bro? All right. D6 basic. D6 basic. How did this undo? Oh, you know what? I bet this is because I quit Unreal for a second. I don't know if this like doesn't save or what, but saving that, compile. Okay, hold on. Now let's try it. That should fix something. Oh, let's stop. Let's stop. Turn off the breakpoint. All right, let's play it. There we go. Now I can look at my score over here. Right here. And then I'm going to come over here and we're going to select all the dice. I'm going to roll. Got a 4. Got a 3. Ooh, got a. Okay. So the only thing I have is a 1. So this is so funny. Okay. I just want to score the 1. And if I click on it and I hit the R button, nothing happened. So then if I go to if I go to first person character, and I look at my keepers, I have okay, so it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Of course it didn't. Why would it? It would never work the first time. Uh, when I hit R, I do current game board, select keepers. Oh, I get not current game board. Get actor. Okay, now we should be good. I think. I think I'm not 100, but I'm like 90. Roll 4. While we're doing that, I get my game table. Unfortunately, that's not a hand that I can score right now. So we're gonna have to roll this again. Okay, so I can select that. I can select that. When I hit R, it scored. Well, kind of, sort of. I can see in the top I got a 1 and a 1. The score is 0. I haven't actually accounted for a 2-1. So let's try this again. I need to make a way to show that they're selected. Whoa, that one went fast. Oh, look at that, 600. Okay, I'm just going to select 1. And hit R. Score is 1. Okay, let me get rid of all these hover things. Let's get rid of that. You thought I crashed. Uh-oh. No, we're still going. We're still going. But something isn't working right. So, going back here, for each one of these, we're going to score the dice. To score the dice, I forgot what this does. Hold on. Target rolled number. Rolled number. So when we roll this, oh, score dice, which is in here. Get world location. Scoring. So it sets that as the rolled number. Prints the die point. So that's the number that I'm getting up there. I need to get rid of this print string. Don't care for that. Both of these need to run into this branch. Compile that. I don't need that anymore. Save that. Then we do a... So I'm getting the rolled number. Then I take that rolled number and I add. So this is a map value. Base score. I find from base score, I find that rolled number. So if it's a 1, and I add 1 to that value. Okay. Once I've done all that, I do the base score calculation. The base score calculation is a mess, to say the least. So I take my base score and I find anything. I find the number 1. Just looking at this, bro, it's not good. But okay, imagine this is the table. All right, this is the number on the dice, and this is how many of each dice you rolled. So if the 1 is less than 3, then we're going to go true. We're going to see, is it equal to 2? So if it's less than 3, it could be 1 or 2 or 0. If it's equal to 2, then we're going to check 3 pairs. So we're going to take that base score. We're going to check to see oh god. We're going to check each map to value, and we're going to see if it's equal to 2. So if 1's equal to 2, then we're going to add 1 to our pairs integer. And then let's say if 2's equals 2 and if 3's equals 2, well then pairs is equal to 3. So at the end of this, if pairs is equal to 3, we're going to return the node. Oh god, this hurts my brain. I'm not a big math guy. But so we'll have 3 pairs. And then we'll be done. If pairs is not equal to 3, so if it's 2 or 1, we're not going to count anything. That's when we're going to return. This should be down here. I'm confusing myself. But if it is 3 pairs, then we're going to take our score. We're going to add 1,500 to our score. Right? Because add to score just takes whatever number it is, and then the dice if it's multiplicative, and adds that. Okay. Go back here. It's less than 3. It equals 2. Let's say it's not 3 pairs. Then it's going to check for a full house. So now it's going to set our pairs and quads to 0, just in case it was checking them before. It's going to go through the loops again, go through each one of these. It's going to see which one of these equals 2. It's going to add 1 to the pairs, and then it's going to check to see if any of these equals to 4. If it equals 4, we're going to add 1 to the quads. If pairs equals 1 and quads equals 1, then we're going to, I should move these again. We're going to add 1,600 to the score. And if not, we're just going to return the node. So then we go back and we print the string. So this only prints if we get a 3 pairs or a full house. Or nothing, or none. So this only counts if we have less than 3 1s. Okay. Oh god. All right. So if we have less than 3 1s, but we don't have 2 1s. Then Oh, this isn't right. If we have less than 3 ones and we don't have 2 ones, then we're going to see if we have 1 1. If we have 1 1, we will add 100 to the score. Hopefully that makes sense. Not using events, so it would check all of them, even if some of them are true. At this rate, my brain's pretty fried. You might need to elaborate on that. But what I'm doing is I'm checking. Basically, the way that I'm looking at it is computers are stupid, so you have to like tell them everything. So if there's a 1 at all, I have to check and see how many ones there are. If there's less than 3, we're doing this. If there's not less than 3 ones, we're going to check to see if it equals 3. If it does equal 3, then we're going to add 1,000. If it doesn't equal 3, then we're going to see if it equals 1, and that's oh shoot. Okay, so this is I don't need this. This is repeating myself. Oh, that's why it would never do this, because I was okay. If it's less than 3 and uh and greater than 0, that's what we need right there. Hmm. I could do that. Yeah. I don't need that anymore. I could make each one its own event. I mean, I have these in functions, like the 3 pairs and the full house thing. These I can reuse. I just need to check to see how many of the numbers that we have. So like I would do this again. Ooh, but you know what? Let's do this. Custom event. Check ones. And this is what I'll do. Check ones. Because I will have to do this for each one. Okay.
I also have to look at this to make sure I'm not missing anything. So if there is a 1 selected at all, we have to make sure that if there's 1 that we get 100 points, which is right here. We have to check to see if we have a straight, which I don't have on here yet. Which would be, I'd have to check to see if it has a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So I'll have to make a function called check low straight. I'll get our base score, go over this. Oh, sequence node? Yes. I probably will do that when I'm done building them all. I'll probably refactor everything into, yeah, having something like this and then have it sequence. But for now, I'll do it like this to make sure everything's working, and then I can organize it a little bit more later. We're gonna check for low straight. We're gonna go through here. We're gonna say if promote to local variable, we're gonna say local variable is gonna be called current dice nums. This is going to be an array. We're going to say add current dice nums. Should be a fairly easy one to do. So we're going to add the value to there. Wait, no. We're going to add yes, I have seen some material. That's how I got the what's it called? The cell shaded material that I had on here that I temporarily removed, and I'm like, bro, I don't understand. You want to look at, yeah. Okay, yeah. That hurt my brain. This, yeah. I did not like this. I did not like this at all. And yes, he did go over a lot of, yeah, the inner workings of how this works. And my God, I don't care, brother. Just give me something to copy and paste, because I did not want to make. I did this all by hand watching that tutorial. And I think it was like an older version of Unreal too. So some of the nodes don't work. You have to like use different nodes. So yeah, it like how people figure that out, I have no idea. Not me. I'm not gonna do that. All right. If no equals Wait, no. If this is greater than 0, we're going to add this to current dice nums. And then when it's done, if this contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did it happen to be
This
this
video
one? Yes. In fact, I think that was the one. Yeah, that's the guy. That guy's a genius. He's a genius and I'm jealous. So we have to do and so there's this. And I'm going to do this again. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say, I'm just going to change this one to 6. Doesn't really matter the order. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here we're going to do or if this and that is true, or this or that is true, then we will add to score. How much is that worth? A full house or a straight? 1,500. All right. Now just to test out some stuff. Let's see. I just select 1 and I look at this and I'm looking over here. If I hit R, is that not updating the score? Uh, print string append I'll have to make this better later. Score. All right, fine. Okay, maybe that'll work. Whew. All right, it's getting late. Hopefully this works so I can get some rest. I need to find the way to make it roll better. All right, we're looking here. We're looking, well, don't have to do that. I'm going to hit R. No. Why is it not? Blueprints, first person character. I hit R, select keepers. That's on here. We're selecting keepers. Base score calculation. Wait, what? Select keepers. When we're all done, we do base score calculation. When I do that, we do check ones. Base score. That's the key, right? Yeah. If it's less than 3 and greater, then we're going to check. See if that's true. Then we're going to see if it equals 2. We're going to do that. And if it's false, we're going to do I think that's the problem there. Be nice if I rolled like 3 ones or something. Zero ones. There it is. Score 100. All right. Whew. All right. That's a lot, but it's been a couple hours, so I'm gonna I think I'm gonna hop off here. My schedule is gonna be changing soon, and then I'll probably be more consistent, which will be nice. And I like to stream really just to keep the VOD on here and on YouTube, so that way I can go back and watch it later. So when I forget what I did or why I did something, I can always go back and find out. So it's a pretty good technique, if I say so myself. I'll toot my horn there. It's helped out in the past. So let me just double check. So we have the ones. I would like to see if the straight thing works. If I can roll one in the next few minutes, I will do that. I would love to get that tested out. Which means I need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 5. Nah. No. That works though. Two, 4, 3. Ah, 4. Ah. No ones. I'd also like to check the 3 ones. Hmm. Just a 1 again, huh? I'll have to add the other numbers. Look, that would be 300 points. Another, oh, just a single 1. That's 2 ones. What? Oh man, that's really close to a full house. I need to find a better way to test this, man. This takes too long. It's like the 1 works. Okay, give me more. What if I get just let me try the 3 ones. Give me 3 ones, please. 3 ones. 3 ones. 3. Okay, this isn't happening. Stop. Play. 3 ones. Come on. Come on. 1. Son of a gun, bro. Okay. 3 ones. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, I think that last one was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. Not happening. Okay, try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's almost a full house. Dang, that was almost another straight. All right, let's go again. 1, 2, 2, 5, 2, 1. So I'm confused as to why that wouldn't do the thing. And greater than 0 should be here. See if it equals 2. If that's true. Oh, you know what? That's why. Okay, let's try that. Okay, I'll take either 2 or 3 ones, please. Nope. Yep. Nope. 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 But wait a minute. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Score 100. All right. That should have been not it. That should have been. Oh, I didn't actually. No. I didn't actually do this. It's less than 3. We're going to. Where do I throw this in? This should go there and here. It should be check for low straight. Return. Dang, that would have been a great test if I would have done that right. One, give me a 2, give me a 2, give me a 2, give me a 2. Son of a gun. We can at least test this out. Scores 200. Okay, that works. Try again. Nope, not what I'm looking for. Nothing I can score. Come on. You can do it. Give me another one. Give me another one. Son of a gun. What if? Okay, hear me out now. Come on, give me what I want so I can go to get off, brother. Not it. Not it, fam. Not it. Not it. Oh boy. All right. Giving myself one more minute. Oh, come on. So close. Oh no. Made a boo boo. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It worked. Oh, it did both. Okay. Well, that's not right. But that's good enough for me. Alrighty. That is enough for tonight. But thanks for hanging out. Hopefully your project goes well. Hopefully you can figure out a way to do the game jam too. That'd be sick. Good enough. It's a good stopping point. It's working, sort of. It's a feature. Anyways, have a great night, and we'll maybe be on here tomorrow. We'll see. And if not, maybe Thursday. Maybe Thursday, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for me. See you later. Thank you for hanging out.